Today I was at the Dollar Tree and they had these fun little ice molds, or ice trays rather. So I thought, you know what, those would be cool to use for molds. They had 3 kinds. They had the pumpkin, they had the skulls, and then they had some cobwebs with spiders. Okay. So I thought, well, these would be really cool to use with the paper clay that Deb carries in the shop. Okay. And one little hint that I want to give to you all when you use these types of molds anyhow, spray your mold with like a cooking spray. So that way they'll come out real good, because this mold here, the spider web is pretty intricate. Okay, so I had a little bit of difficulty. Plus, they needed to sit longer than they did, but I was too anxious to play with them. So, yeah. But anyhow, I just wanted to show this kind of stuff with you all. Isn't that the coolest? And then the skull, when I first got the skull, I thought, I'm not going to be happy with that. And it ended up being my very favorite. So, if we get time, we'll sit and play with this tonight and see what we think. And here's one of the spiders. And then I have one in there just where I got just the spider part itself. But I think it needs to sit a little longer because it was kind of coming apart on me. And then here is the pumpkin. It started to crack because, like I said, it needed to finish drying, but I think I really liked it afterwards. Gave it more detail. But I thought they were the coolest little things, and I just wanted to share those with you guys. And you can get the paper clay in the shop. Okay? It's a nice big block of it. And again, those are ice trays, so they're a little deeper. You know, if you played with them some, you could probably get them not so thick. But I thought they were cool. You know, nice big chunky pieces to, you know, play with. But yeah, I'm really digging the skull. I think that's pretty cool. Okay, so tonight what I wanted to share with you all is a fun little cork project. I've seen it on Pinterest, of course, because that's where I get a lot of my wonderful inspiration from, a lot of wonderful people. And, you know, I thought I'm going to make it my own little way. A lot of folks know that I do a lot of volunteer work at the American Legion Post here local. And, well, if you know anything about those types of things, they have, you know, a bar in them. So I have had the bartender save me buku tons of the corks. Now, this isn't like your regular type of cork. This one is, it's a little more rubbery, but, you know, hey, it'll work. No biggie. So what we're going to do, oh, I'm going to get my cork bucket. I'll show y'all how I did this. I'm going to set this aside as well. Of course, you can make these as big as you want. I mean, one really super big would be cool to do. But I just started with 4 corks on the bottom, and then I went 5 and 6. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back with 5, and then I'm going to do another row of 4. So I'm going to show y'all how I did that. And I just went through and what I've tried to do. Now this brand of wine, of course, it has something, either cheers or enjoy on their cork. So I try to keep the side where they use the corkscrews, you know, on one side. So let me just go through here. And we'll pick some of these out. And then this one's off of another wine bottle. And it's shorter, so we're going to use that one for the stem. Okie dokies. And And of course you can use your favorite adhesive. Deb carries a few different adhesives now in the shop. And I'm just going to use hot glue. I've just ran myself a bead of glue, and I'm just going to put that right in the middle. And then what I like to do was turn these over just so I can mash that down to where, I'm going to move my camera just a bit, you all. Bring it out a little more. There we go. That might help. To where that way it was a little more flush. Okay. And again, like I said, I was trying to alter the cheers and the enjoy. That one's come loose on me, but I don't think that'll matter. And then I was trying to get it down in here too. Again, this is a different cork. It's not like your regular cork, which I don't even know if those would. You may even want to use E6000 on this if you was wanting it to stay really, really sturdy. This is just something I'm going to sit around in my house. But making this for someone, I definitely would want to use E6000 or something like that, which means your drying time on each row might be a little bit longer. Hi, Teresa. I just want to thank everyone who's here. Unfortunately, I can't see who's with us. Because the chat on here does not show that. Now I'll hold on to this and give it a second. And everyone ready for fall? Who's in fall right now? I know some of the wonderful people around the world, they're probably in their summer or their spring. Okay, and there's what we have so far. And now I'm going to go with a row of, row of 4, like so. Glue strings. Those things drive me crazy. Okay, see, that's why I suggest using a E6000 or something that's fast drying. I'm just using the glue gun for class purposes. Now, here's what we have so far for our pumpkin. Okay. All right. Then what we're going to do is we want to take, and this one has a little footprint on the front, and I think that's, or down the side of it rather, and it's from Barefoot Wine. I have a friend who drinks that too. So, and that's going to be, well, hi Rebecca. That is going to go just right up here, and I'm going to wait on that because I may trim that down. Okay, but we're going to set this to the side, and no, in fact, no, I'm not. What I'm going to do here real quick is I'm just going to slap it with some orange right here on the front. Brush. Now, I'm just using plain old puffy paint. If you have acrylic paint, whatever kind of paint you want to use, hey, go for it. These I have on hand, and I'm trying to get them used up. And let me tell you, they work just fine. So I'm just going to put some on my brush. Then I am just going to go over the front like this. I really like the words peeking through. If you wanted to, you could gesso it. Or you could even put yourself some modeling paste on the front to fill all that in. All right, I think that is enough. Now, if you wanted to, you could do both sides. It's just whatever you want to do with your project. You could paint the whole thing if you wanted to. Now, what we're going to do is set all this aside and our pumpkin base. Now, next thing I want to show you, let's get our little glue spots up here, is this really cool stuff that Deb has in the shop. She has it in white, she has it in clear. I believe it's also in black. Deb, you can correct me. And if I'm right, I think she even has like what, sample pack. Now, I have never worked with this before till today. Some pretty cool stuff. If you all caught Deb's video on our Gone Artsy YouTube channel, she altered a bird cage in which she also carries in the shop, and she used this with it, and one of our other DTs used it to make flowers. So this is my first time using it, and I thought it was pretty cool. Deb demoed it in a totally different way. I took and I ran it directly through my printer. Now, if you have a laser printer, I don't think it'll smear. I do not. I have an inkjet, and as you can tell, it has a slight smudge over here, and over here you can tell where I did it. But for what I'm doing, that really didn't matter. And if anybody knows me, they know I cannot stand a fussy cut. That's just my pet peeve. Me personally, I would have printed this, I would have stuck it on my silhouette, and I would have cut it that way. But I'm just a nerd like that. So, but then I thought, you know, for tonight, and what I'm doing, I think that I'm going to run it through the printer, and I am going to fussy cut it. Because what I'm wanting to do with it, and you know what? I've sat right here, and I have lost my leaf. Never fails. Yep, I found it. So here's what I did. And what you do with this really cool stuff is you use your heat gun, and you can shape it and mold it because it's a modeling film. And I just thought, this stuff is fun. So I need to add a little more of glue in certain spots. But I'm using the beautiful glitter glass that Deb carries. And this color is the Green Glory Blend. And of course, they come in these cute little jars. And they come with a really cute, I had took it off of this one. They come with a cute little peacock charm. And these little bottles are glass, so you can reuse them for other little craft projects. And if you have these would be really cool to do for Halloween if you're creating a shadow box. Pretty fun. So, again, like I said, I just ran this sheet through a printer. If you have a laser printer, I do not have, I think you would do just fine. That way you wouldn't have a smudge or smear. Now this has sat for quite a while, so it has dried some, but it's still smeared a little. Again, I mean, if you were doing a color printed piece, that's what I would suggest, making sure you had a. But now, again, watch Deb's video because you'll see how she used hers with a printed image, and then she ran it through her Xyron and adhered it to the modeling film. And that is a awesome little project that she did. Okay, now I'm going to show you what I did with the leaf. I took a bone folder, and I just sort of ran some score lines to give this my veins, you know, because of course I'm not going to see the veins, you know. Now you could use a couple of different colors of your glitter glass, you know, for your depth and everything. I was just wanting to mostly get bends in my leaf is basically what I was wanting to do. But then after I started playing with it, uh-oh, y'all, I'm tearing things up. And I really didn't need to do the bone folding, but that was okay because it just helped in the curling of it. Because all we want is some shape anyways. I'm not having an earthquake, I swear. But you'd think I was. There we go. Thank you, Rebecca. All right, now this is going to get a little noisy because I'm going to use the heat gun on it. And right, exactly, Deb. Yeah, but again, if you were doing a printed image, you know, and you wanted it on here, I would suggest making sure that your printer was a laser printer, because a laser printer is, well, it works a lot different. I don't have one, or I would try. But again, I was just wanting the outlines so that way I could cut it. All right. Now I'm gonna let this kind of curl up and do its own thing. I'm gonna give that a crease. That leaf might be too big. I should have probably went with the other one. And y'all, me and this glue gun are going to get into it. There. Alrighty. Now, I'm just going to apply this with regular, you could use your Mod Podge, you could use, you know, your E6000, whatever you want. I'm going to put it on pretty thick. That way, if you do it thick the first time, you probably shouldn't have to come back and redo your glitter. So I'm going to tell y'all a story. When my youngest son, oh gosh, he was probably in grade school. Now, God love him, he was always trying to be an entrepreneur. Well, we had got pumpkins, of course, and we were carving them. He says, I want to save the seeds and plant them. So the next year we did we had a dog pen, or a dog run out back. Well, our doggies, God love them, they had passed. And we decided to plant these pumpkins back there. Now, it was in an area that ran about 24 feet in length, and it was probably about 6 foot wide. Now, let me tell you, pumpkins, when they start to grow, they grow wild. I had pumpkin vines growing out, clear out to the middle of my backyard. And there we go. Pretty hilarious, you all. And the pumpkins, well, we ended up getting maybe about 6 pumpkins out of this monstrous mess. And God love him, they were all only about that big. But he was so proud of them little pumpkins. Alrighty, now we're going to touch up over here. And there's our other little pumpkin leaf. Let's go back to our pumpkin here. Let's see. A little tacky. Little talker. Let me just heat it up with the glue gun. I mean the heat gun. Glue gun, good Lord. that's good enough for now. All right, now we're going to stand it up here. Well, I better lay it down, that way y'all can see it. There it is. Okay. Now the little, I'm just wondering if I need to cut that down some. No, I don't think so. Not once we start to put the leaves on. All right. I thought about putting it right in the center, but I want it to lean over some to, you know, like a pumpkin stem. There is that so far. And I think I'm going to hit that with just a little bit of brown just on the top. All right, now I'm going to take this twine, the gypsy cord, okay? Now again, if you had seen me do the altered ribbon spool, this was on it because it comes on a wooden spool, so that's why it's no longer on it. And what I like about this gypsy cord, Deb has it in several colors. You get 5 strands of 5 yards. You can use this all together. You can take it and braid it, make it into something totally different, excuse me. Or you can use your single strands. And then, like I said, afterwards you have that nice wooden spool to do a project with too. So this is some pretty awesome stuff here. So what I'm going to do, I want to take a piece of it, and I think I'll take this one. And again, like I said, Deb has this in several colors, and I'm just going to make myself a bow. Now, if you wanted to, you could just go around your cork, you know, a few times and tie yourself a knot and just have a nice little bunch of it up there. Now, there is one more thing that I want to do, and I'm going to have to get up and get it. I forgot I didn't get it. I had tempted on pumpkins. They have a little, what I call curly cues. And I had attempted to do some off this piece. As you can see, it's got crinkles in it, which is also in this gypsy cord. But it didn't, well, it just didn't do what I wanted it to do. So I figured I'd take some wire and attempt it. So let's see what happens. What you could do, I only have the silver, but if you had like a copper wire, it would be perfect. So I'm just going to snip a piece of this off, and we're going to put it on with this. Now, because I really wanted to use this. You could, okay, here we go. You could wrap this around something, okay, and then use some type of an adhesive. But you might want to give it a several hours dry time, so then that way, you know, you can get the type of effect you're wanting. So I'm just going to take this, because it's my thicker wire, and I'm just going to, and because it's thicker, it might be harder to work with. Let's go back to this one. So I'm just experimenting here. Take it down here. I'm not going to worry about the ends because I'm just going to spin it around. I'm just using a wooden skewer. Just get that wrapped around there. Now, your wires, like from your flowers, that would work perfect too, because a lot of them are green. That would work even better. Snip this in. Oh, there we go. And that gives us our little curly cues. But you may want something more natural. But I'm just doing this just to give you all an idea. Or you can use the gypsy cord to work wire into it. Now we'll set that aside for the moment. Let me get this out of the way. I think I'm going to use this strand as well. And like I said, I think I'm just going to wrap some around so that way it looks like, you know, more vine. And then we're just going to give it a little quick tie. And then I'm just going to hit it with a little spot of glue just to hold it in place. I'm going to be out of shot again for just a second. I'm just going to hit it with, like I said, a little bit of glue right there, because I'm basically just wanting to tack that down. Okay. Now let me get this out of the way. I'm really super excited about these leaves. That's why I'm trying to get to them so quick. Okay, now on our leaves, I'm just going to, whoops, just going to attach them. Hey, you may even want to do both sides. I'm just going to hit that with a little bit of glue and attach it that way. And again, like I said, if you wanted to, you could use several colors of green. That way you could give it more depth. And I probably should have went with a smaller leaf. You definitely want to let your glitter dry. And there's what we have so far. But I am going to stick my little curly cue on there. And I'm going to tuck that behind a leaf. Yeah, if you had a thick copper colored wire, actually I think these are more, you know, I don't know. They may be more of a natural color. But, you know, if you're doing earthy colors, a copper would be all right. And then one that is, I'm going to place that here because I'm going to hide that with the other leaf. Hi, PM. I'm going to do another leaf so that way you can see it. And then I had thought about putting, Deb carries these in the shop, these fun little, they're by Finnabar, and they're mechanicals. They're metal embellishment, 10 hearts. And some of them have a very rustic look to them. I think they're very cute. I had even thought about, let me slide him out of the way and let y'all take a look at these. Aren't they adorable? Here's a little one. Yeah, you get all those in a package. I thought maybe about putting one on the front. Now, the fun thing about this is the molds that I showed you all earlier, you could fix this up to where during Halloween, I dropped one. like for instance, the spider. But imagine it's the smaller spider, which that one's in the mold. I can't get it out yet because it's still too damp. And then you could like put a little spider on it somewhere. And then the little pumpkin here, okay, you could probably, you know, put it on there. And another cute little idea to do with this would be to make you a banner. For instance, say for Thanksgiving, you put be thankful or happy Thanksgiving, and you could attach it if you wanted to do some type of a gift giving with this. Okay. So I'm not really, I don't know. Like I said, if I had a copper or earthy wire. And then again, here is our pumpkin made out of cork. So if you know anyone who's a wine drinker, have them save you some corks. And if you have an olive garden near you, some will. I don't know about all, but some will. If you ask them, they'll give you your corks, or give you their corks. Or I've always seen on one of our local groups here that a lot of people will be requesting for them, and they have mentioned it. Not saying that they all will, but apparently there is one here locally that is kind enough to share corks. So wouldn't hurt to ask. They're just going to go in the garbage anyway. So, but there's a fun little project that you could do. Again, something to do with the kids. I'm all about doing crafts with kids. But again, we've used the modeling film, which you can find in the shop. Glitter glass, and Deb has Bouquets colors of the glitter glass. Be sure to check those out, and check out the gypsy cord. Several different options and colors for that as well. I think that's a fun little easy project. Be great. Well, I don't know about doing taking these into a school and doing if you're a teacher, but yeah, you know, if there's an other option maybe. And the fun part about it is you can make these even bigger if you wanted to. So yeah, and if you didn't want to use a cork stem, you could take some burlap and create yourself a stem and put that on top if you wanted to. So, well, that's our class for tonight. I'm not going to keep you all any longer. I've already been over an hour, and of course it took me 10 minutes to get the doggone thing logged in. So, yes, check out the shop, and Deb has tons of new products, and she has some fun Halloween stuff. And I think I'll put this back on, but you know where I'm going to put it? I think I'm going to put it over in here, maybe. So, but I'm going to add the other leaf, and then we'll get pictures posted for you guys. All right. And again, all month long, I'm going to be doing pumpkin projects, and probably a little bit next month. And so, I want to thank everybody for joining us. I really do appreciate it. And hope that you all enjoyed the evening with a few tips. And check out, get yourself some of this stuff, because it's like really cool and fun to work with. First time I've done it. All right, y'all. Thanks again for joining us. Y'all take care. Stay safe. Good night.